with Don Cohen and Tara Gooch. We're so happy to be here again. If we're here, it must be Friday. This is the fastest 20 minutes on LinkedIn Live you'll ever see. So we're going to try and make it as packed full of valuable tidbits, insights, and more importantly, actionable takeaways that you can go to work with today and see results. So Tara, why don't you share a little bit of what you've learned this week and going forward?
Absolutely. So, one of the things this week, and I've talked about it before. So, this week I had my first social selling webinar, and it was awesome. I think one of the participants said, total game changer.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's so impactful to have a really strategic, thought out plan before you just start instant messaging people, right? So that's one of the things that that I took away, even, what sounds simple to you and something that you do on a daily practice that may be intuitive to you is totally new to
Mm-hmm.
someone else and can actually help them really long term achieve success. So don't take anything for granted. I think that is my big takeaway from this week. Just because you know it and it's really natural for you doesn't mean it's not valuable to someone else. So think about that, guys. What's natural for you that you can impart that wisdom onto somebody else and really help them, right? It's so important.
Yeah, well, that's a way of really gaining value by giving value and by meeting people where they're at instead of where you hope they'd be
Yeah.
or where you want them to be. What I learned this week is action really does speak louder than words. And whatever you apply yourself to, if you don't really make it a focus and give it major impact, you're going to get superficial results or poor results that you're going to start making decisions on going forward to say, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Well, I think to Tara's point, unless you have a plan where you can track where you started, where you are, because you forget what it was when you're into what it is, right? And if you can keep yourself grounded, but also look at every day of getting paid, and now how you get paid, it could be through building new relationships, it could be getting more exposures, but you have to have a result to an action in order to continue to redo that action. And why wait until a month or two goes by when you could have figured it out a week into it? And the answer is do more of it. If you did something and didn't get the results, right, then maybe you didn't do enough of it and the results were just waiting to be had. So we're getting some comments. We welcome comments. We've got Marco here. Hello, Marco. We've got Beth.
Hey, Beth.
Hey, Marco. Hey, Beth. Uh, so glad to have you. Feel free to comment. We're willing and happy to share your comments with the audience. And this is how it all begins. So Tara, what do you think about the time frame most people allocate themselves before they make judgment on how they're doing?
Wow. I think, we don't do that enough, right? So at the end of every day, I actually like to have a reflection time. So, and if you're not doing that, every day, at least once a week, what was your activity? And again, I posted about this just yesterday for, hiring managers and recruiters specifically, but one of the things that I would look for in an employee that I'm going to hire would be their activity on LinkedIn, because you know what? That shows me their commitment to consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So again, one of the things that you need to do is to look for that consistency, right? But I like to, at the end of every day, have a reflection period. What did I do really well that day? You know, what do I need to work on? What did I not do enough of? Did I achieve the success that I wanted to capture? And again, if you're not setting your day up like at the beginning of the day with some strategy, with some thoughtfulness, with some intention, the rest of your day is just going to be ping pong balls going against the wall, and you're not going to know really what to do because you're going to be a reactive and have a reactive mentality. So set your day up with intentional thought, with strategy in mind, with a goal, with a purpose. What are your goals? What are you trying to achieve that day? And then at the end of the day, have some self reflection time. Again, what worked, what didn't, what was successful, what wasn't. Did it give you an ROI? Did it make you successful? I think not enough people are really taking that, prescriptive approach, and they're wondering why they're not successful, but they're not setting themselves up for success at the beginning of the day. And then at the end of the day, they're not being analytical about what occurred and how to fix it going forward.
I think that's so true and so pertinent. And what everybody, I believe, it's not even a belief, it's a fact, is you need to get a benefit by providing a benefit. And if you can't provide the benefit, then the second part of getting one isn't going to show up. And the other one is you're not going to grow audience if you don't create value for that audience. It's not a lotto where everybody gets an easy ticket and they wait. The other aspect of it is I look at everything now as distilled into how many quality conversations did I have? Because everything leads to that or doesn't, right? And if I have two or three or one really great LinkedIn Live or a connection that I work with, here's the other thing. Using the 80-20 rule, 80% of what you do doesn't work, to the 20% that does, but you don't know where the 20 and the 80 is. And if you can start seeing a pattern that this is who I'm attracting, what is it about me and what have I been projecting that attracts this? And if it's the bulk of work without the benefit of conversations and trusted relationship growth, then I'm just inviting in something. It's like digging a hole to fill it, right? And really the key then is select 3-4 people. If you only want to talk to 2 people a day, select 5 that you can get 2 from based on a value that you have. The only reason to contact somebody is to say, I've got something you really have to see. You can't say I've got something you really need. But I was thinking about you and I was thinking about this, and here's where it all then comes together, is you become a LinkedIn connector. You're not a giver, you're not a taker, you're a matcher, right? You match good things with good people, you match good people with other good people. And then if you're really good, you bring people together in a collaborative way that now you have knowledge share, projection, you're doing things by plan instead of accident. So anyways, you can see how we get off on this stuff. So Tara, why don't you pick up from there? Oh, before that, we got Beth, who
Oh,
just had another comment. I think my major hurdle was social selling is sounding authentic and not coming off as salesy. Any advice you have, please? Well, Tara, why don't you
yeah.
use the question?
Yeah, absolutely. So the power of building a personal brand, and that's one of the things you just hit on, which I'm so glad this comment came up, is that when you build a personal brand, it's authentic, it's personable, it's likable, it's trustworthy. You use the word attraction. And that is one of my favorite words, because when you develop a personal brand, you wouldn't believe the clients that are attracted to you. When you put yourself out there, when you tell people what your core values are, what you believe in, what you stand for, who you are as a person, these clients that you have been chasing and chasing and chasing and hunting and hunting and hunting, all of a sudden start coming to you. And you can sell through direct message, but there's an approach and there's a way without being sleazy, while still being very authentic by solving a problem and by adding value to that person, that they can't help but do business with you. The goal of marketing, so this is, the goal of marketing, this is general thing, this is not my opinion, is not everybody is ready to buy at that moment. So your end target customer is not ready to buy at that moment. The goal of marketing is so that when they're ready to buy, you're at top of mind awareness
Hmm.
and the decision is already made. But you can't get there without putting yourself out there, without developing a brand, folks. So you have to develop that personal brand that people know, like, and trust so that when they are ready to make that purchasing decision, you are on their mind. And that's it. That is the power of social selling right now in 2022. And guess what? It's only going to continue to be this way and more. So if you're still holding on to like antiquated views of sales that you need to pitch slap people, you are going to ruin your personal brand because they're going to associate you as a sleazy salesperson. And you can't afford to do that forever.
And what that person will also do is make the quality individuals look even better relative to what they've been putting out there in the marketplace. And oh, got some more comments. Keep them coming. Here's Brian from Naples. Good morning, Brian. We've got Cameron Ahmed. That's awesome. Thank you very much. We've got Allison. Quality connections, love it. I love the idea of messaging 5 to purposely connect with 2. It's simple, something we overthink, at least for me. So right, Allison. And it's these little
Yeah.
things that once you adjust your direction on, all of a sudden the less than quality reaction goes away and now the relevant reaction shows up. And the other thing is you are who you are, right? Be the best you are when you come here. Don't come in like a limp noodle thinking it's not going to work. And when you come in like that, you show like that, right? People love your music, not your words so much, and they come for what you offer. They stay for you. And here's the key: be what nobody is to you that you'd like to be. Be that to somebody else. Stretch. Do as much as you can and find a little bit more and move that forward every day. And you know what? That's what makes you attractive. They say the definition of a big shot is a little shot to keep shooting, you know, and that's so key. We got Brian J. Libby here, got Matika. Hope I pronounced that right. So yeah, there's so much to so much, and
Yeah.
that's why I am advocating so much to get with people like Tara or myself, or there's a lot of quality people. I'm meeting them all the time. They're good people. They try to help before they try to help themselves. And those are the people you need to like, trust, and work with. And buy some vowels, learn a little, trust yourself to see what happens when you make changes and when you include other people in your sphere. And this is a social network. If you're not social, if you're not honest, if you're not authentic, you're wasting your time, probably some other people's time, and it doesn't have to be that way. It's easier to be nicer and it works better than to be scammy. And, I think that just based on the response that we get, excuse me, to these LinkedIn lives, there are so many people who are one plateau away from breaking through.
Yep.
They've got the energy, they got the capabilities. Now they need the plan, like Tara says. So, what do you think, Tara? This is blowing up.
I know. I love it. Well, I think we're speaking to an active problem that, is going on right now that honestly people don't know how to break through it, right? They don't have that guiding light to help them. But guys, we know what it takes to be successful on LinkedIn. We know between Don and I, we've got this down pat. We are true experts when it comes to LinkedIn. There is absolutely no doubt about it. So, working with us, watching our content, what are we doing that you're not doing? It's really a 1 + 1 = 2 equation. It's not complicated, but sometimes it takes that person that is that expert, and we are subject matter experts on LinkedIn, to take you to that next path of success. Because honestly, your plateau, if it lasts 1 month, 2 month, 3 years, how much time have you wasted? How many sales have you lost? How many prospects have you turned off? How much revenue have you not created and generated for yourself to set you up for success for years to come? Literally, LinkedIn can change your life, can absolutely change your life. And if you're not taking advantage of this platform and working with somebody that's, a couple steps ahead of you or even a lot of steps ahead of you, you're wasting your time and there's no more time to be had. It's a non-renewable resource.
Mm-hmm.
If you're plateauing, it doesn't matter if it's 3 weeks or 3 years. You're losing opportunity for success. Wake up, let's get together, because honestly, there's a lot of really talented people out there that just need a helping hand and a push in the right direction, and what can't they do after that?
Well, there's a saying, if you got a big enough why, you figure out the how to.
Yep,
And, if people are really putting the LinkedIn opportunity into proper perspective,
yeah,
you waste time, you're not successful, but what would have been the 3 years if you would have turned a corner early? And now the success is something you're enjoying instead of still searching for. And, everything in life ripples. And I know everybody, and one of the hardest things is this is a game between you and yourself, but at the same time, you're dependent on support or lack of it.
yeah,
And the sooner you get successful, the more pride there is around you and your family, with your friends, with yourself, the feeling of, wow, I go to LinkedIn every day and I do well and I do better. And now I'm meeting great people. That's what changes your world, is moving into a new world. Your old world isn't going to change by itself. It never has. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, make a move, because you can always go back. You're not burning a bridge. Yesterday's plan will work tomorrow the way it did yesterday, but today's plan may give you a future plan that the legacy doesn't have to get dragged forward. And we've got some more comments. Uh, Rosanna says, could not agree with you more. Mohammed, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Thank you. Cameron again. How we can target our clients, or those people who can get or buy our services and get good results in selling a service. What strategy should apply to get potential buyers or customers? Well, I believe, well, Tara, you're great at customer service, and I think you can reiterate what you mentioned before as far as what you bring.
yeah. So again, figure out what have you been doing? What's your current strategy? Is it working for you? So honestly, put it on, a piece of paper, an Excel document, whatever you want. How many outreaches did you do? Out of those outreaches, how many were successful? Did it land in a opportunity, a closed opportunity, right? What is that percentage? Okay, is it 1%? Is it 2%? 0.2%? Whatever that percentage is, I want you to tell me, anybody that's listening right now, if it's working for them. Are you happy with that percentage? So, I teach how to open the door. And that's what I teach. So I teach, how do you open the door to anybody on LinkedIn? How to get anybody on LinkedIn's attention. I teach that. I teach strategies to get you in there. What happens after that is up to you and your product and your service, but you have to convey that value. But it's a matter of figuring out, it's very prescriptive. What are you doing right now? What's your percentage of conversion? Is it successful? Are you happy with the amount you're bringing home? If you can answer yes to all three, you don't need to probably talk to me. It sounds like you're a sales expert.
Mm-hmm.
If you say no to one of those things, we need to probably set up a strategy call because something in your sales approach is not working. And again, I teach you how to open the door, how to get clients to be attracted to you, and then how to convert a conversation into a bigger conversation. So I teach things like that. And I'm willing to help businesses and individuals alike. I like to teach teams mostly because honestly, that's where the energy is. That's where I get the most,
Mhm.
it's an energy, right? I like to see those light bulb moments happen for people. And that when it's almost like a moment where you say, oh man, it's really just that simple. And honestly, it is. But social selling, this is the new evolution, folks. People aren't answering their phones really that much anymore
Mhm.
sometimes, but we don't respond to a lot of emails. We don't respond to a lot of direct messages because we just get inundated with them. So this morning on LinkedIn alone, I think I had 20 direct messages for sales pitches. For
Mm.
Facebook right now, my Facebook is blowing up. I can't even answer anybody. I've got like 50 direct messages a day now for sales pitches. If I just answered those, I wouldn't have time to do my actual job.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, if that doesn't tell you what your approach is and how it's wrong, I don't know what will. So, we probably need to work together on a one-on-one strategy call, because honestly, time is a non-renewable resource, and you wanna walk away from every single day successful, not regretful, right?
Yeah, that makes total sense. And what it puts it in the right perspective is you need to be proactive, not reactive. If
Yes.
when you go to LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you go, the first thing you do is respond, you're doing everything everybody wanted you to do for them
Yep.
rather than what was your mission, right? If you got a grocery list, you got to fill it first before you start buying for other people. And the other thing is does it work? And one more thing, are you happy? At the end of the day, even if you got your numbers, was it a satisfying day? Was it a celebratory day? If it was something that's like trudging through, working by, it's not going to last because you're going to give up. You're going to wear out. You're going to burn out. And unless someone tells you where you are in the game, and I look at what me and Tara do sometimes as like a LinkedIn closet organizer. We go in and we just see what you put together and sort it out to say, well, here's high priority. Here's stuff that's already served you well. Here's how to pivot. And it's just like, going into a stylist or a designer and say, what do you think? And they come back and say, boom, here's an overlay. Here's how you go to work. And the thing is, then you bring your effort, then you bring your thought, then you bring your energy, because there's a saying, a lot of people are walking up the right ladder against the wrong wall. So you're doing everything right except for the wrong intention or the wrong application or the wrong purpose. And it's a learning thing. And don't feel bad. Actually feel good, because if where you are is all you're going to be, you've peaked. If you're just at the beginning of the beginning, but you can cut through really quickly, get like one of those TSA passes that just get you right to the front of the line and get you flying and get you to where you're going versus sitting around, fumbling around, worrying. And, most people are here because they didn't really want to be here. They've got disenfranchised from what was traditional, what was something they were comfortable with, and all of a sudden there was an earthquake, and all they saw was a lifeboat called LinkedIn without knowing how to get here and how to survive, and then mostly succeed. And here's the thing I know: me and Terry have nothing to do with the LinkedIn platform. That's LinkedIn. We have nothing to do with the LinkedIn Live opportunity. And what I know about this LinkedIn Live, because I'm doing it now twice a day for the last 6 months, I'm starting to ramp up, is no one knows the capacity or the potential of this. It's just been launched and very few people are using it. What you want to do, which really lends itself to being authentic, is to be real in real time with real people. And then there is no screen, there is no mask, there is no opaqueness, and people see you or don't want to see you for what you show or who you are. But then you start to become who they want with that interaction also. So my advocacy is, if you can't justify or afford professional service, come view our Friday, LinkedIn Lives. You'll get a lot of information in a short period of time at really no cost. And maybe it's better that way, because once you prove to yourself what we have to say really does work, and now it becomes an investment instead of a risk, like how much can I put in? So how much more can I get out? This gives you that opportunity to kind of take a taste test. And I think there's even a middle ground, because I know, as well as Tara's, open for relevant inquiries into support. So if it's just a quick 20-minute, let's get to know each other, then take that step. Buy as many vowels as you can to solve your puzzle, because you should be doing it for you, not for the person who's bringing you into it, because ultimately we want to bring you out of it on your own, self-sufficient, and maybe create a teaching situation for you, if nothing else, a modeling situation from us. And we're only as good as the success stories we bring to the public. So everybody I work with, I know Tara works with, we're putting in way more to guarantee success. Because first of all, we're gratified when people do better too, right? There's 10 lifetimes of opportunity on LinkedIn for everybody. So no one has to feel like, scarcity. So yeah, and you can see the way Tara's smiling. I'm happy. It's early. It's Friday. Something must be cooking, right? For us to keep coming back and being so happy and excited. And, we've seen the other side. There's huge opportunity. And what we're trying to do is build bridges, get people over there, get people more successful when they're there. And at a certain point, they start talking for themselves, but more importantly, for what we can do. So with that said, I think this was a jam-packed, value-added session. We get better with time. Hopefully, we all get better with time. I love your comments. Keep them coming, and don't stop after the broadcast is over. You can reach out to us, on both of our LinkedIns. And please, if you get an opportunity, share. I love shares. It really shows a reciprocal element, and very few people do share, which means the ones who do share get top of mind awareness, not only from us, but from others. Because if you're giving a gift that you think can have great value, it's not a gimme, it's something that says, hey, I'm going to pass it forward in a way, share this with somebody I know who could use either Tara's help, my help, or our help. So not pitching, but really inviting. So with that said, Tara, any final words?
Yeah. Recently, I had an interview with a VP of sales from a very large company. One of the things he said with LinkedIn is that when you develop a personal brand, it automatically starts you at midfield.
Wow.
Midfield. So imagine you're on a soccer field, football, whatever. It's up to you. Would you rather start at the end of the field or midfield? If you have a LinkedIn presence, guys, and are super active on LinkedIn with intention and with purpose, you're starting at a midfield and have a midfield advantage. And all you need to do is keep moving forward. And those opportunities come to you. It really is possible. Again, I got a NASDAQ speaking opportunity at the end of this month because of LinkedIn. This has the power and opportunity to change your life. Take advantage of it, work with an expert, build the trust, build your community, add value, do it with intention and strategy. There's absolutely nothing that anybody can't do. Let's work together. Let's do it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you're not fired up after hearing uh,
Yes.
that talk, I don't, there's something there. Let me just share the last final comments. Brian J. Libby says, rule number one, honesty. Cameron, we humans always apply different strategies to get our results, but we appreciate or accept only those strategies that work for us. Christopher, thank you, Tirandon, popped in at the end. Thank you, Christopher, a favorite
Yeah.
return visitor. Brian, can you hear me? Sure can.
Hey,
And
Brian.
Christopher says, I'm building a time machine. Well, isn't that ambitious? On that, let's say goodbye. Hopefully, we'll see you again on our next LinkedIn Live. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend and be safe.